Hi guys, welcome and who dat? I'm Joe. Thanks for tuning in to Rosenfield 10, where I cover our beloved Bless You Boys in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints. And today we are going to do a preview of the Week 5 matchup that's going to see our Saints in the Caesars Superdome hosting the New York Football Giants. The Giants won their first game of the year under rookie quarterback uh, Jackson Dart. He only throws for about 100 yards, but he manages to run around a bunch, and the Giants win the game against a really good Los Angeles Chargers team. And yeah, you would think that the Giants would come in here as the favorite. And they were up until Malik Neighbors got hurt, I believe, in the first quarter of this past game for the Giants. And now that he is out for the rest of the year, the Giants are no longer the favorite. The Saints are a point favorite in this game. So, this is a chance for the Saints to finally get in the win column. And let's take a look at the roster and talk about the injuries as of Thursday, heading into this weekend's matchup. Here's the offense. Our Saints. The problem on offense this week, once again, is the offensive line. We have Dylan Reduns that's got an injury to his toe, and he's not going to play. He's already ruled out for this week. Cesar Ruiz has an ankle injury. He did not participate all week, and he is ruled out of the game as well. So, who's going to play right guard? It's going to be Torricelli Simpkins. And Simpkins played right guard all game last week. Struggled, but he's the guy. We've got a lot of hope for this undrafted kid. I think he's going to get better as he plays, and yeah, as long as Reduns and Ruiz are out, then Simpkins might get a lot of opportunities. He'll be starting this week at right guard. And at left guard, we've got Trevor Penning. Fresh off of his turf toe injury, Penning was able to practice limited and then play last weekend. He started and played the whole game at left guard, but he exited the game with an ankle injury. Trevor Penning did not participate Wednesday in practice. However, he was a limited participant today on Thursday. So this is where we're at with the offensive line. Let's say Trevor Penning's good to go for the game. I mean, if the ankle's bothering him, you never know. Just coming off a turf toe is bad enough. Now you got a bad ankle. So I'm kind of worried about the guard position. I'm going to assume Luke Fortner at center is going to remain active for the game, and hopefully he can play some guard. Other than that, you've got Xavier Truss at right tackle, who can play guard and has been practicing left and right guard with the Saints. So I'm assuming he's going to be active for the game as well. I still think you might want to bring somebody up from the practice squad just to cover your bases, because if you go into the game in the middle of the offensive line with Trevor Penning, Eric McCoy, and Torricelli Simpkins, and either one of them get hurt, you're in trouble. Simpkins is going to be your center if Fortner doesn't, play, and I'm assuming Fortner's going to be the center. I don't know if you put Simpkins at center. If McCoy gets hurt, you put Simpkins at center and then put in Truss at right guard. Unless Fortner's been highlighting a guard to make his position on this team worth it. I like a backup interior offensive lineman as opposed to just a strictly center or strictly guard type. So yeah, I would think Simpkins would be the starting center if McCoy went down, and then you'd be scrambling for a guard. Truss would be that guard up next. And then if anything else happens, Trevor Pennings can't make it with the ankle, yeah, you're going to be in trouble. I say you bring somebody up from the practice squad, and they're all going to have to be active for the game. However, as I said, Trevor Penning was limited. So the assumption is Penning's going to start. Simpkins will be at right guard. All right, the rest of the offense, we've got Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau finally practicing. They've opened their 3-week practice window. They are not officially on the active roster, but they are practicing. Reports are that both of them look really good. They're both running full speed routes. So it's a question of did they learn enough in the classroom while rehabilitating to have this new offensive system under their belt? I don't think you see either one of them in this game, Foster Moreau or Taysom Hill. And yeah, they were both limited both days in practice. And like I said, running full speed routes. It seems like they're ready to go. You just plug them in and hope this they classroom works on the field. And if that happens, we all know Taysom Hill's a wonder kid at 36 years old or whatever he is, only a couple of years younger than the head coach. Taysom Hill heals from a year-long injury in 9 months, and yeah, he is a spark. He goes out on the field and he provides a spark. He always has, even at his old age last year. So it'd be exciting to get Morrow or Hill back. I don't think we're going to see that in this game, though. And one other offensive injury to mention, Trey Palmer. He was dealing with a hamstring. Now he's dealing with an ankle. He was limited on Wednesday, but today on Thursday, he did not participate. So Trey Palmer was downgraded. I'm assuming that the ankle injury didn't hold up after Wednesday's limited. So I'm assuming Trey Palmer will not play in this game. And other than that, we're going to see Spencer Rattler start again. And you know that Shuck's waiting in the wings, and we got to see him at quarterback at some point. I think, other than that, there's nothing much to say here on offense as far as injuries go, as far as drama. Let's see if Spencer Rattler and Chris Olave can work out the kinks. Let's see if we can actually get a deep pass to Rashid Shaheed or Chris Olave. Let's see if Juwan Johnson can bounce back after a three-catch game and see if he gets more active. And we'll see what this offense can do against the really good Giants defense versus the pass. They can rush the passer well, but they are susceptible to the run. So if we see another mix of Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller, and we can get to 190 yards rushing like we did last week, then maybe it's going to translate into a win this time around. All right, that is your offense. Let's take a look at the defense, and we know the issue here. It's Chase Young once again with that infamous calf injury. Juwan Johnson was limited in practice with an ankle, but the expectation is Johnson's going to play. So on defense, Chase Young did not participate. He's already been ruled out pretty early. He was ruled out Wednesday. So Chase Young, once again, I'm assuming he tried to come back too soon. He re-aggravated it. They're not going to divulge any information, any specifics other than that. He's doing a good job. He's doing everything he can. He's doing good. He's doing good. Yeah. Okay. So Chase Young did not participate. Also, Isaac Yiadom has a hamstring injury. Isaac Yiadom was limited on Wednesday and downgraded to did not participate on Thursday. Looks like Isaac Yiadom's not going to be available for this game. We all wanted to see Quincy Riley start in the place of Yiadom anyway. And, you know, when it's a base formation, it's probably going to be Alontae Taylor across from Kool-Aid. Nickel situation, you're not going to have Yadam, you're going to have Quincy Riley, but you're going to need some depth. So I'm thinking that you might see some Rajon Wright in this game. Ugo Amadi has the ability to play on the outside as well, but I'm assuming Yadam out. That means Riley starts and Rajon Wright will be active. Maybe we bring somebody up from the practice squad as well. Uh, Davin Godchaux, the nose tackle, did not have a practice designation on Wednesday. I'm assuming he practiced. On Thursday, did not participate, and it says rest. So I'm assuming Gottschall is healthy. He's just going to get a veteran Thursday day off. Safety Justin Reed has a knee injury. He was limited on Wednesday, but upgraded to a full participant on Thursday. So Justin Reed should be available. And last but not least, on our defense, we got to mention John Ridgeway. He is the defensive tackle that's on IR. He has started his practice window as well. He was a full participant today on Thursday. After being a limited participant on Wednesday, he was a full participant on Thursday. So it looks like Ridgeway is back and healthy. And like I said, you're going to have to make a roster spot for that guy. That means you got to get rid of someone, and I'm not sure what is happening there. I mean, as long as we're healthy on the defensive line, I don't know who you get rid of to make room for Ridgeway. So that's one of those things. Perhaps we keep him on IR and just let him practice fully for 3 weeks until a spot becomes available and it's more convenient. But yeah, that's something I mentioned earlier in the year. It's going to be a hard gig for John Ridgeway to make this team on the active roster without cutting somebody that we value right now. Possibly Jonah Williams. It's possible who we would cut, and that's more feasible if Chase Young instantly becomes available, and you've got that extra edge rusher there. All right, that is the defense. Special teams, nothing to mention. Blake Grupe, Kai Kroger, Zach Wood, everybody's healthy, good to go. Didn't miss a kick last week on the field goal attempts. The punting is looking okay. So, what about the game? Saints are a 1 point favorite. Everyone's saying the Saints have to win this game. Everyone in New York, I'm certain, is saying the Giants have to win this game. After beating a really red hot, undefeated Los Angeles Chargers team, who had already taken out the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs earlier in the year. For the Giants to beat that Chargers team, it's a good going for the Giants, and without their number one wide receiver. If this game gets out of hand and we have to pass, it's going to be an issue because the Giants' pass rush is pretty good. They are not so good against the run. We look pretty good running the ball right now. Hopefully, Trevor Penning can hold up good. Hopefully, Torricelli Simpkins continues to improve. And we keep the running game going. That would be best case scenario. But you run the ball for almost 200 yards last week, but you don't win the game. Matter of fact, you lose by double digits. Yeah, what's got to change is we need to get points on the board, take a lead. The defense has to keep the Giants from scoring. I think the Giants' best case scenario is to get their running game going, which includes the quarterback running. I think that if Brandon Staley can confuse Jackson Dart at quarterback, and then, maybe we force him into some turnovers. But he may be the guy to first read and then tuck and run. And we're going to have to keep an eye on that. I think Jackson Dart's going to get his yards on the ground. The Saints haven't shown me that they can completely contain a mobile quarterback. They can do okay, but I think Dart still gets 50 yards on the ground. And the way our secondary has been playing, he might be able to have some success through the air, even without Malik Neighbors. So, as I do for my predictions every week, I pick a score in case the Saints would win, and then I pick a score if the opponent would win. And this is the way I'm thinking. I'm thinking truly, my pick is that the Saints will win this game. I'm hoping that it all clicks. We have few penalties. We actually take advantage of a few opportunities instead of letting them all go by the wayside. And we actually create a few opportunities with an opportunistic defense against a rookie quarterback and with a offense that has a running game going and against a defense that struggles to stop that. So, low scoring game. I'm going to pick the Saints to win in this one. Final score Saints 20, New York Giants 17. That would be a nail biter to the very end. I think it's going to remain close. I don't know if the Saints are going to have to play catch up. I'm hoping that the Saints take a lead even though it's a one score lead. And in the running game, get you down the field, burn some clock. You force their quarterback into some mistakes, some three and outs, and we take control of this game. And although it's low scoring, perhaps we get up 10-0 or 13-0 before the Giants can figure something out. I think eventually the Giants will get points on the board. Like I said, Jackson Dart's going to run around, and I don't know if we've got the defense to stop that. They've also got Cam Scatterbo running the ball. We're going to have to do what we can against the run. I don't trust our front against the run. We performed okay at times this year. We allowed 160 yards rushing last week. So if the Giants want to come in here and run the ball, they might be able to do that. And if they do that effectively and our offense sputters, then I can see the Giants winning this game as well. If the Giants win, I think the score will be the New York Giants 24 and the Saints 17. So if the Saints win, we get them by a field goal. If the Giants win, they're probably up by a touchdown. It might be some garbage time offense for the Saints just to make it look respectable. That's definitely the way the game could go. We have to prove we're good against the run, and we're going to have to stop this Giants running attack. And we're going to have to prove that our secondary can hold up against regular old quarterbacks because we've been facing some regular quarterbacks this year and not looking very good. When Mac Jones and Sam Darnold can light you up, then you got to assume there's a chance Jackson Dart can do it as well, or anybody for that matter. Like I said, the Giants' best case is running the ball on the Saints. The Saints' best case is running the ball on the Giants. And whoever can create opportunities and take advantage of them will be the team that wins the game. That's my preview. I will have a review of this game next week. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10, and you'll also get draft coverage and college player breakdowns as we always look from the Saints' point of view toward the future. So subscribe, leave your comments. I respond to my comments. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Who dat?